Death and life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Death and life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Death and life in the power of the tongue. Live your life, love Christ, do your best to
Speak life.
Death and life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Death and life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Death and life in the power of the tongue. Live your life, love Christ, do your best to
Speak life.
Hello and welcome back to the Speak Life podcast. We are excited to have you with us for another amazing episode. I am your host, Minister Phoenix, alongside my wonderful and amazing wife and co-host.
Hello again and welcome to the Speak Life podcast. This is your co-host, the one and only Shika. You are in for a treat.
Yes, so tonight, before we get started, shout out to all our listeners and subscribers. We appreciate y'all, man. Seriously, we love you for the support in this project, and we just want to look forward to amazing things to come. Now, today we are going to have a deep topic. We are about to jump into something real deep, and that thing that we're going to talk about today is this concept of love. Now, what is this thing called love? So, babe, I'm just going to give it to you to just start us off. In your opinion, you know, what is love?
So, in my opinion, love is a deep affection. Like a really, really, really deep affection. So, that's what I think love is.
Okay. Now, if we was in church, you probably hear some like Greek terms. I'd be like, well, the Greek, if we want to look at the Greek for love, we would talk about the eros or the agape or the philia. But no. This isn't that type of conversation. No. And I don't know Greek, but if you've been to enough services, you kind of pick up on some of the things that preachers say. If you've been to enough marriage seminars and things like that, you'll come across these terms. So I don't want you to think that I'm just like this super theological philosopher. No, I just pick up on things that I hear sometimes. And like I said, if you attend church enough, you're guaranteed to find these terms. But in my opinion, love is a decision. And as we progress, more inside of this episode, I'll give you more background information to really get you to understand what I mean by this. Love, is a decision. So when you were younger, what did you think? What did you think love was?
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Get into it.
So you know what? When I was younger, to be honest, and yes, this is as real as it gets.
Give us the real.
We're talking about real stuff, and we already said there's no fakeness.
No fake.
So when I was younger, I thought love was sexual. I thought only a boyfriend or a girlfriend or like husband or wife, like I thought that's what love was. I thought those were the only people that could love you. I did not know that a parent could love a child, or a child could love a parent, or a cousin, or a family member. I thought love was just sexual.
That's fair. Now for me, I think it was more the opposite, because when I was younger, the only thing I really knew about love was, my parents used to tell me they loved me a lot, all the time. They'd be like, oh, love you, So I was like, I associated, love with the fact of like, that was how my parents, would tell me or show me that they really cared for me. When I was younger, you don't think about, they're making sure you got this house and you got food in your bellies or anything like that. But I felt like that was the way that my parents would tell me that, or show me that they cared about me. They would tell me they loved me. And then as I got older and in my teenage years, love really did become synonymous with sex. I'll be honest about that piece. It's like growing up and like the type of neighborhoods and stuff that I did, it's like that was pretty much what was portrayed. If you love someone, then, that's what it's going to come down to, So I think as you progress in life, as in anything, when you get older, it's like your views on things change. So with that in mind, I would pose our next question, which is, now that you're older, how has your understanding of love changed?
So now that I'm older, I definitely think of love differently. That it's not just sexual, but there's different kinds of love. As Minister Phoenix said before, you have the unconditional love, which is the agape love. And that love I show to my children. I show to like people who I really do love and care about. And there's different love, like where you could just love a friend, you could just love someone in different ways. It doesn't love overall is not sexual as I saw it before. Growing up, not really hearing your parents telling you that they love you, not really hearing the people, your caregiver, telling you that they love you. You don't really know what love is. Only hearing it from a boyfriend or someone who you look to in that way. So then that's what I grew up thinking love was sexual, because that's who I would hear love, those words from. So definitely it changed completely.
So with that, I would say when I was younger, I always thought love revolved around a feeling. And I believe it was, J.J. Hairston. I remember we were at a tools conference one time, and he was, talking about love, and he said, love is a decision. Now, JJ, I don't know if it was you or not. Anyone has a good relationship with JJ Hairston, tag him, have him listen to it. And if it wasn't him, just JJ, let me know it wasn't you. But I'm almost certain it was JJ Hairston, and he was teaching on I think it was like praise and worship, and he was relating, the decision to worship to love. And he was like, love is a decision. He's like, because he realized that in his life, like, feelings, and this is, I believe, almost verbatim, this is what he was alluding to. He's like, feelings change. He's like, but even when feelings change, he's like, you have to make that decision to love a person. And I think the first time that I really understood what real, true love was when my wife was pregnant with our first child. Now, if you don't have children, I would say you don't really get to see the real proper definition of love. And when I say this is what I mean. When my wife was pregnant with our first son, it was like just the excitement of knowing that this baby was gonna, come into the world. And it was like, even though this baby could do nothing for me, the love that I had for this child in my wife's stomach was just so amazing. It was like there was no other way to really describe it. It was like I was so in love with this child to know that this little baby was going to be coming into the world. It was like, I feel like that was when I really truly understood, what unconditional love really was. And I mean like love on an unconditional level, not you're doing something for me, but like an unconditional, you really can't do anything to deserve this type of love.
Yeah, so I'm going to piggyback with what Minister Phoenix says. The love that I have for my children, all three of them, is like I've never experienced that before until I actually have them. Where it's like you would do the world for them. You would give your last. You would go hungry so that they would be okay. Like the things that you would do, and anybody know me and know how I am with my children. I am so over.
Don't mess with the picnic.
Okay. I'm so overprotective over my children. They're my life. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that like I've never really experienced that before. So now that I have my own and I'm like, wow, this is what love really is. I want to protect them. I want to do everything for them so that they experience what love is without having to, figure it out on their own. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. And I know for me, just like that, like I remember like when like being in the delivery room the first time around, and like you hear dudes talk about it all the time. They're like, yo, I think I cried, bro. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be real.
Did you cry?
I felt the welling up. I don't know if a tear actually came down. It's been a little while, but I definitely felt the welling up. It's like, I was like, oh my goodness. This is like, and you hear dudes like, I'm talking like, brothers will tell you, and if they ain't being real, I can't handle y'all. I'm just being real. I said we were going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But, like, I felt the tears coming in when, like, in the delivery room. And I'm like, wow, because you're seeing this little person that you somehow helped to create coming into the world. And they can't do anything for themselves. And you're responsible for turning them into a decent human being. That's a lot of responsibility. But it's like that sense of love that you have is just like, that is the truest definition of love that you can get. That's the truest definition of unconditional love
yes.
that you can get. Now, when it comes to love between you and another person, in this way, I believe it is a decision, because at the end of the day, there's gonna come difficulties and challenges in your life. There's gonna be times where things can get rocky, and you have to decide to love that person. You have to decide, you know what? I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to push through it because I love this person. And I think, yeah, it was Toni Braxton in her Braxton Family Values.
Yes,
you remember this episode?
That's my show.
I remember this one particular episode where they would talk about, marrying people. And she was like, you marry people, to make sure that, you're going to be well off. She's like, because you can learn to love somebody. I was like, Toni, not you, Toni. But she said it, and then it's like, I thought about it, and I want to pose this question. This isn't even on the docket. This is a sidebar right here. So I might catch up the one and only on this one. But this is going to be a good one. How do you know when you love somebody? How do you know?
How do you know when you love someone? So you know what? I could say this. So when I know I love someone, like, let me put my husband out there.
Put me out there and make sure you make me sound good.
You're good, baby. So you know what? I know that I love my husband because it doesn't matter what, like he could just then get on my nerve.
And I be getting on her nerve. Let me be real. Little authentic moment. I be getting on your girl's nerves.
So he could be getting on my last nerve, and I'm just like, I still, you have some women, or I have friends and I talk to them, but they're like, well, he got me mad, so I didn't cook, or I didn't do, nope. You get me mad, I'm still cooking, and I'm still like, babe, here's your dinner. Babe, do you want this with it? Do you want that with it? Like, I'm still looking out for him. I'm still, like, thinking about him. I'm still making sure he's okay. Like, if that is not love, I don't know what that is.
But how did you know? What was it? Was it my smile? Was it the dimples? Was it these dreamy eyes that you knew that you loved me? Like, just in general, like, how did you know that you loved me?
Oh, so,
how did you know?
I mean, I knew I loved you from the very first time I saw you.
Me?
I knew I loved you from the very first time, like, when we were young, yes, but I knew I loved you because, and I mean, the feelings that I had for you then, it's like the same feelings as far as like love. The way you, like, he was always so caring and gentle, and he know what to tell you, and so it's like the fact that he showed me all the attention in the world. So the fact that he was so like caring, for me, that was everything, because like I said, You know, that's something that I kind of lacked growing up. At least that I didn't feel. So it's like for him being that way, it was like everything to me. It meant everything to me. And the fact that he was being that way, like, just made me love him even more. Like, you know, he looked out for me. He showed me, not just tell me, but he was showing me. So I just, yeah, I give it everything. I loved him. I still do.
Yeah, your boy doing good over here. Yeah, so for me, I think this is, I think for me, love always initiates with a feeling. And when I say this, this is exactly what I mean. Like, for example, I met, you know, this beautiful woman across the room from me when we was in high school. And like, I remember, like, I was like, I'm not gonna fall in love. I was like, I ain't gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna try to, you know, keep my cool. I'm just gonna keep liking her. But nah, I'm not gonna fall in love. And just the matter of the time that we spent together, it's like, I got this feeling, and it like right when it happened, I knew. I was like, oh no. You know, I was like, I'm gonna fall in love. And my brother, man, shout out to my brother, Luch. I love you. I love all my siblings. I don't want anyone feeling left out. Shout out to my sister, Say. Love you. G down in Florida. I love you. All my adopted, you know, family that I just kind of pulled in. I love y'all too. But Luch would always make fun of me. And he's like, you need to check your feelings. Because you know you be loving hard, man. He's like, it don't take you long to be falling for no one. But I'm like, yo, like, I knew, and I was trying to run away from it. But it's like, I feel like for me, I knew I loved this woman when it came to the point of when I imagined her not in my life, it would just cause me so much, like, I would just be disturbed. Like, oh no, like, I felt like I had to have her with me for the rest of my life. I was like, I'm gonna marry this woman. And we was in high school. And I told her this. I was like, listen. I was like, if we still together with everything that's going on in life right now, I was like, yo, I'm gonna marry you.
Marry that girl.
Marry that girl. I don't know if we do not own the rights to that song. No. Don't sue us. We love the song. But like, and I think she probably thought I was crazy and didn't really believe me. But I was like, yo, listen. And I was so serious. I was like, yo, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. I was like, yo, if we still together, like, I'm gonna marry you. Because I knew. It was like, it's one thing to have someone you just care about, but you know, when you find that person that, like, if you have them on your mind and you're like, you know, I can't see my life without this person, yo, you in love, B.
You in love.
You in love. You in love. Oh, I didn't realize time is getting away from us. We definitely gonna have to do a part 2 to this. We gotta get a love part 2, but we just gonna, you know, just wrap up on, you know, this just one thought right here. You know, unconditional love is a beautiful thing. The only way that I can truly describe unconditional love is, like, if you got kids, then you probably got a good idea of what I mean and what I'm talking about. And that's not to say that if you don't got kids that, you know, you don't understand unconditional love, because I know people who didn't have kids and they just showed amazing amounts of love and they were able to be very nurturing and loving. So that's not to say that, you know, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, you know, but that's just the way that I use to be able to illustrate, you know, my understanding of what unconditional love is. And then you got some people who got kids who never really wanted kids, who like really dread the whole kid having experience. So I'm not trying to generalize. That was just my illustration, you know, for how I understand unconditional love. So make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, and remember, life and death is in the power of the
tongue.
So make sure that you speak
life.
Yes, we love y'all.
We love you guys.
Have an amazing week.